Mike Draco takes his rightful place as first across the line here on the first Shop Talk of the new year. Welcome everybody to the show we do every Sunday for the two-wheeled custom motorcycle world here in the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio, 50 floors beneath the street level from Cycle Source Magazine headquarters. Getting ready to go live with our first episode of 2023 of Shop Talk, and we got a great show lined up. Lyonel is coming in from Law Tigers. Lyonel's been all over the country working on a motorcycle and taking this experience for all it's worth, man, and we're going to catch up with him. We got some great tech tonight coming out of the Source Garage from our Chopper Friends effort. We got some news from the High Seas Rally. That stuff's starting to finally pour out. Let me say some hellos while we're here. Robin Higginbottom in the house with us. Bruno Coppola, Jeremy Sather checking in from Minnesota. Bruno from Laconia, New Hampshire. Jeff McKinney, Youngsville, PA. Mr. Tom Banks, 84U, Pittsburgh, PA in the house. Tom, I owe you a phone call. I apologize. All the crazy holiday stuff is just, man, everybody's so excited to be around young kids on the holiday. They wore my ass out. So it's going to be a great show tonight. Just 3 minutes out. That's time for you to hit the like and share button. Help us get this out further all the time. You know, they say that sharing is caring. Make sure your friends and neighbors know when we go live with Shop Talk. 3 minutes, we're going live with this one. Stick around. I'm not sure how to say the name, but Lewistown, PA. What's up, buddy? Cincinnati in the house, Mr. Mike Draco. So, I sort of feel like we're getting cheated out of winter here. Mark, do you feel cheated?
I always feel cheated, but that's besides the point. And this is one of the people that bitch about how cold it is all the time. You ought to be living life.
Well, I'd like the snow, though. If it's going to be cold, I want snow.
Oh, yeah. Stare out the window.
Oh my God. Maria McAlpine, woo. Dead Hooker Cycles. Okay, nice. There you go.
Hang out with that guy.
Mike Draco, shut up. I do not. I imagine that's either he thought you were saying he bitches too much or that I like snow.
Whichever one. I'll take both.
Rob Nussbaum in the house, still wearing my flannel. That's right, buddy.
Paula.
President and founder of the Flannel Mafia right there. Retro Cycles own Mr. Rob Nussbaum and our associate producer here at Cycle Source Media. Thomas McGuire in the house. Rob, did you get a new flannel for Christmas? Is that the deal? Jeremy Valentine, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Jeremy, I see your name up here. It reminds me, I need another mirror. Hook up with me. Send me a message off air. Maria, I'm up north. I hate snow. John Snyder, working this Sunday in Marshfield, Mass. You know it's cold up there, buddy. It never stops snowing in Massachusetts. My goodness. So, hey, Shop Talk. Greg White in the house from Texas. Shop Talk getting ready to go live here in just under a minute. We're actually getting ready to hit the 40-second mark, and that's probably close enough for me to cut you guys loose and get you ready for the next 90 to 120 minutes of all the two-wheeled bullshit you can handle. A little program we like to call Shop Talk. You ready for it? 2023, here we go. Okay, scooter tramps and chopper jockeys all across the land. It is just after 9 p.m., 9:01, starting off the new year strong. I know Heather's going to be so proud of me. I'm Chris with Cycle Source Magazine. I'm going to be your host here on America's favorite two-wheel entertainment and information show. A little program we call Shop Talk goes live every Sunday, 9 p.m. on the East Coast through the courtesy of the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. Wink Eller in the house. Oh, my goodness.
He moved home.
He moved home to Harmony, North Carolina. Can't wait to come and see you, dude. Cannot wait. Absolutely.
He's going to be at the Smokeout. Check that out.
Yep, that's so cool.
Nice. So I have a bone to pick with you. I would be proud of you, but
Hey,
you unmuted Mark's mic and not mine in the intro. I had so much to say.
And this is good reason right here. I didn't even introduce you yet.
Oh,
you're jumping over me. I'm supposed to be running.
Whatever.
Here, let's start that again. So I'm joined tonight by my crew.
Hey.
There you go. Jesus.
Well, do your job.
Just gonna shut up while I have the chance.
So happy New Year to everybody.
Shut up again.
It seems like forever since we were together. You know, took a little break over the.
I know. I kind of
over the
missed it.
holiday, right?
I mean, kind of.
We missed you, Mark.
We did.
Mostly.
We did miss
Hey,
you,
you gonna
Mark.
call? I'll bitch all the time on the phone.
I call and call. You
I
hardly
know.
answer the phone
Who
anymore.
are you kidding? You're the
These
one I
two,
normally
just
answer
so
the
y'all
phone
know, these
for.
two are a bunch of old ladies on the phone. Like it's
somebody gotta do it.
redonkulous.
So now that we got all the holiday shit out of the way, because I mean, listen, yeah, it's awesome, you know, this whole thing.
Yeah, I'm over it.
Okay.
It's only good when you have little kids.
Yeah, and you know what? You guys were talking about that in the pre-show with Lyonel, and like I agree, little kids are awesome. It makes Christmas so much more magical. I don't know where they come up with all the energy and all the questions. They never stop. I was tired 3 days with our grandkids, Mark, and it was like I'm totally reinvigorated for the motorcycle community for the rest of the year. Like I'm ready to get back to events and drunks and crazy.
Well, now, in
hooker
all
chicks behind
fairness,
the
you're
bar.
not like typical grandpap. Like you're cool
You're not
grandpap.
kidding.
Like so, it was a nice day in New Hampshire when we were up there, especially for January 1st. So Chris, we do scavenger hunts with the kids all the time. Now they're not 8 and 6. Chris goes on a 2-mile walk to set up a 30-item scavenger hunt for these kids. And then he has to do the 2-mile walk again with the kids to find all the items for the scavenger hunt. So
Obviously,
yes,
I
of
didn't
course
think
you're
that part
tired.
through.
And he's losing his memory, so he couldn't find half of them. So let's remember that.
Where was it? Hot air balloon. How? What?
But no, it was
30?
awesome.
I meant 11.
Right. No. Oh, and they found all 30. Like they got points and prizes and
Hey, Rob Miller in the house. Radar's here tonight. Oh, so many people. Lance Curley Wogman.
8. Jeff McKinney has 8 grandkids.
Oh,
We
my
have 2.
Good Lord. How do you have a hair left on your head?
Oh, I would love to have 8. I would. I mean, we only have the 2 and that's all we're ever going to have. But
Listen, there's no rapid fire on that sound effect for me. I just want you to know I just shot you 30 times.
hey. Well, no, cuz you like face it. Come on. We loaded them up with sugar and sent them home.
And
like
then again,
seriously.
That
Come on.
is rock and roll right
the
there.
greatest part of grandkids is you can send them out.
Yes.
That's the best part. So
Oh, so good.
Wink is making a comment. Wink, it's so good to see you on here, man. Bought his 2004 build that he built with the SNS for the SNS 124 challenge. It only has 311 miles on it. I got your message about that. I cannot wait. I want to bring you on the show. I want to put that stuff in the magazine. It's going to be so cool.
Ooh, I love neat stuff.
So lots of stuff going on. You know, like I said, the holidays are behind us, and we're ready to get back to the two-wheeled life that's much less chaotic for most of us motorcycle people out here. But events, everybody's in the garage. I'm so fired up about that, and that has a big part to do with our guest tonight, Lyonel from Law Tigers, who is going around the country rebuilding a barn find motorcycle. And I think it's a great program, and we talk about this all the time. You know, that Law Tigers is not one of those companies that's just like they come in and sponsor stuff and, you know, whatever. They actually participate in all this. Last year, Ari, who you guys have seen out all the events too, competed in the FXR Friends Throwdown, rode his motorcycle on it. He rode the bike so good, Mark, I actually had to ask him at one of the stops. I was like, was that? I
You're
said,
like, who was riding your bike?
Yeah, who's riding your bike?
Stunt double?
Like him and Nick Trask took off, and they were riding those motorcycles like scalded dogs down through the canyon in Arizona. It was far out. And he was like, no, that was me. All unassuming. And I was like, jeez.
And then he hasn't really spoken to you since.
Well, because that was kind of like an underhanded insult.
Well, I didn't mean to be insulting. I wanted to tell him he's a hell of a rider, but I want to make sure it was him. I don't want to give out faint praise.
I don't understand why he won't answer my phone calls.
So, Shop Talk every Sunday, 9 p.m. here on the network. But I want you guys to know something. Through this year, we are going to be doing special things through Cycle Source YouTube only. We're actually going to have some shows coming up, and it might start next week. We're going to have shows coming up where we're only going to put a call-in link on the Cycle Source YouTube page. So if you're watching it through our YouTube, there's 15 other channels where you can watch us. But if you're watching it through our YouTube page, you're going to be able to get the link to do the Zoom and come in on the show with us.
Ooh, is that new technology I don't know about?
Yeah, and there's going to be...
Or am I going to have to learn it next week?
Surprise! There's going to be a bunch of other stuff that we're doing too with... we're going to do some special YouTube-only shows this year. There's content. We've been packing YouTube full of content. We're actually learning a bunch of new stuff about YouTube. And I got to tell you, I'd never really paid attention to YouTube that much. I mean, it was there. It was part of everything that we did. And I'm starting to see that of the social media choices, it's one of the ones that still has a lot more freedom for the user. So
he's like he's like the 80-year-old that just got a new iPhone with YouTube.
She's funny, right? That's it. Encourage her. Go ahead.
Did you see this? Did you know what this can do?
Glad I don't have to do it. It's Usually it's me doing this, and it's a new
so
year.
Great. He's like, did you see this? Did you know this can do this? Look.
It's pretty cool. So anyway, yeah. Once upon a time,
Rob, he is a super nerd.
I am a nerd.
Like D&D nerd, through and through.
All right, so listen, let's get back to it. Sunday nights, live, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, Shop Talk. Tell your friends. Make sure you're hitting the share button. What is Shop Talk if you're just watching for the first time? It's 90 to 120 minutes, all the two-wheeled stuff we can do. We do some entertainment. We have some guests on. We do some tech. We start the whole thing off with a little segment we like to call The News. The Shop Talk World Report is brought to you by Law Tigers. Get the compensation you deserve and get back on the road with Law Tigers. First up in the news tonight, Sons of Speed Racing returns to New Smyrna Speedway Saturday, March 4th, 2023. I'm still having a hard time getting used to saying that big number, 2023. I expected to be so much further in my life by now, and here we are. Sons of Speed, launched into the industry in 2017, has not slowed down since. Born out of Billy Lane Choppers, Inc. and his love of vintage motorcycle culture, Sons of Speed has grown to be one of the major events in the racing world. The race series takes inspiration from the early 20th century board track racing that showcased pre-1950 V-twin American motors and stripped-down bikes for some of the industry's biggest names. Racers compete on steeply banked tracks hitting speeds up to 80 miles per hour. So no brakes and a bunch of other stuff they go on to say in the press release, but we've covered this, we've talked about it, we participated in it ourselves. If you miss this, if you miss an opportunity, you do not understand how many years Billy Lane toiled away behind the scenes as everybody was going mad about his Choppers Inc. thing on vintage motorcycles and on his love for this. And for years and years, they talked about the board track, trying to get a board track together. The fact that he pulled this off in 2017 and got this actually going is a miracle. And as great as it is, this is a rare and special thing. You shouldn't miss an opportunity every time they run this to go and see it, because in the world we live in today, you know, who knows? Like the next thing that comes up is somehow they decide vintage motorcycles are racist and they cancel them. We never get to ride
and
one
they
again.
cause cancer. Yeah.
And how many different classes are you racing?
I'm racing in maybe 2 classes, but
okay, that's better.
But the big news is there's some secret special. I don't think they've announced it yet.
The special sauce.
Some additional classes that are going on. And
well, I think we can announce it next week. We have Nick Hunter on next weekend.
Yeah, that's gonna be a great time. Nick's
Classes
pretty cool
or
too.
no classes, you got to go watch these old bikes run around this track. Definitely worth it.
Yep.
Yeah, no questions asked.
We're actually going to drag Mark's ass to the track this year because we actually have for the first time the flat broke flathead is hitting the track,
Yep.
and he's got to come and see all that.
I'm fighting. I'm gonna try and do more than just one this year, maybe.
Right on. Next
Oh
up in the
my
news
God.
from Motorcycle Power Sports News, 6th Annual Tennessee Motorcycles and Music Revival returns to Loretta Lynn's Ranch. Tennessee's largest motor and music event, Tennessee Motorcycle and Music Revival, is heading back to Loretta Lynn's Ranch on May 18th through the 21st. The 6th annual, I can't believe that's 6th annual already.
Yeah, right.
Must-attend festival for bikers, music lovers, and RV camping, glamping enthusiasts, sponsored by Harley-Davidson Motor Company, is returned to the 3,500-acre Lynn Ranch at Hurricane Mills, Tennessee. Now, the big news here, obviously, is that we lost Miss Loretta this year, and I'm glad to see that the Lynn family is keeping TMMR going with all the vigor. Lynn actually got posthumously the Woman of the Year in motorcycling, and a lot of people didn't understand that. You know, and I have to say that we mentioned this when we did the announcement, there was very good reason. When Dave Coombs Sr. was looking for a place to hold the amateur nationals, and he found his way upon Hurricane Mills and Loretta Lynn's Ranch, it started what would become an absolute pillar for AMA, American Motorcycle Racing's amateur national event. And just like when you think about it now, if you're really a motorcycle person, the depth that track, the names that have come through that track and proved themselves.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And I think a lot of people just never asked how they never really paid attention. It just was always Loretta Lynn's, at least in a lot of the people that attend TMMR. They're just like, yeah, this cool race happens here.
Yeah.
I think too. Also, looking into the history of a lot of stuff. If you would have looked into the history of it, but then, like Chris said, if you would have been an enthusiast, like where we live, so many people, dirt bike champs, and dirt biking is a way of life around here. Like football in Texas, we're big on football, but man, you left that field after practice and you hit your dirt bike, and that was it.
Just a couple years ago, they inducted Ed Lojak, who lives right down the road from here and runs a local Yamaha shop, but they inducted him into the AMA Hall of Fame. And he's still to this day, before they called the cross-country motocross race the GNCCs, before they called it that, they were the 100-mile races. Between those races and the GNCs, Ed has won enough championships that he is still to this day the winningest champion since there's been a sport. So lots of great heritage. Hey, back to the news, and this is going to get a little weird, but in from Top Speed, Harley-Davidson X350 confirmed for America alongside 2 new models. The 23 lineup will also include Nightster Special and updated Breakout. Harley-Davidson has turned 120 years old in 23, and a feat like this deserves a celebration. Doing exactly that, the American Giant is set to introduce the 23 lineup on January 18th, which will comprise of new motorcycles and a few special anniversary editions. Understandably, the motor company is tight-lipped about. I will not say MoCo, just so you know that.
You just said MoCo.
No, I won't say it.
You just did.
About everything but its VIN filings sourced by motorcycle.com have now revealed 3 new motorcycles, including the much-anticipated Harley-Davidson X350 Roadster. Okay, first of all, much anticipated by who?
Well, little people.
There's so much to talk about here.
But is there?
There is. I mean, so the big news, obviously what they said, January 18th, Harley-Davidson's doing a global launch where they're going to talk about all their models. Yes, it's very exciting that the company is 120 years old.
That is not an American motorcycle. It looks like an ant.
And this is... And this is part of what I want to get into now, because when you go over to motorcycle.com, the purveyors of the VIN decoder technology that brings us this special information. And dude, I am a dick. But seriously, dude, I mean, listen, I'm old enough to remember once upon a time, everybody waited with bated breath to see what the new Harleys were going to be. And the need for a VIN decoder and like all this technology.
Whatever.
But let's face it, like all of this for a customer base that's going to walk in and go, I really like the yellow one.
After the Christmas story, everybody needs the Dakota ring. So,
Oh, good Lord.
So back to the news. If we go over to motorcycle.com, they're calling for lineup to include Breakout 117, 350 RA.
I would just like the record to show that Chris is on some heavy duty painkillers tonight.
But here's the secret documents that are
the
leaked.
Vindicator.
This is that run the Vindicator, yeah. But what you do see is the new Harley Davidson Nightster Special that they're talking about.
I don't hate that.
It kind of shows signs.
Kinda don't hate that.
Tell me if I'm just being a hater right now, but it kind of shows signs of, oops, maybe we shouldn't have let go of all of the Sportster's looks and heritage, because they're kind of taking a step back in that and saying, yeah, remember us? We're the people that did the original Sportster, and here's some of it.
I don't know. There's a couple different visions on
But
that right there.
Now, I have to ask you guys, because you're my co-host, will you come down the rabbit hole with me just for a little bit?
Again?
It's like, look, man, this is some of the only fun I get to have, right? So let's go back to the original story from Top Speed. Let me bring it up.
I want to go back to the Sons of Anarchy fairing on that last bike.
Sons of Angry Tree. So in this, most notable entry for the 23 from the Harley Davidson XS350. Its first sub 500cc motorcycle of the modern age. The 350 is a product of Harley's tie-up with China's QJ Motors and boasts a neo-retro roadster design. I don't see that in it, but okay. In the brand's otherwise cruiser-loaded lineup. Now, it goes on to say stuff about how, the 350 solely serve purpose as an academy motorcycle, just like the Street 500, though a bummer. Gives us hope that Harley Davidson will likely bring her the X500 to the public. But what I want you to pay attention to is China's QJ Motors, right? So I did a little digging. Chinese manufacturer QJ Motor is working on 2 mid-size cruisers. Now, what do you see in design concept when you're looking at these bikes? All of a sudden,
Yeah, they're trying to make it look a little bit more like.
well, are they making theirs look more like Harley Davidson,
Yeah.
or are design principles that are showing up on bikes like the Pan American and some of their touring bikes coming from this Chinese-based manufacturer?
Yeah.
Now, to get a little more depth on this, because you guys will remember we broke the news about the Shine Ray company who knocked off Harley's Evo like 2 seconds after they decided to make the move to the Sportster S. Well, Shine Ray has a co-partner in their company or some relationship with an Italian manufacturer, and that's where a lot of this stuff is going down. Well, when you look into the QJ Motor Company, Quanjiang Motorcycle successfully acquired Bonelli. Recognize that name from when they said about, it's been the modern age since Harley Davidson's come out with a sub 500cc motor.
Well, that picture right there that's a 550 Suzuki or Yamaha. I mean, that's exactly what that bike looks like to me. Yeah,
it's just interesting to me that 2 Chinese companies that are set on dominating the motorcycle industry have acquisitions in Italy, and in one way or another are not only going after Harley Davidson, but and it doesn't stop here. Like this is some of the stuff that once I went down this rabbit hole today and started looking into this is not even closely the 1 or 2 people that are starting to edge up on Harley Davidson. There's another story, this also from Top Speed. Look at that. Another story that talks about how the Chinese clone of the Harley Davidson Sportster S is just disturbing. Now, this is their brand new Sportster S. How in the hell is a Chinese company getting away with taking the intellectual property of a brand new model and already knocking it off?
Scroll back up for a second.
Well, I guess they make every car look the same now. They might as well do it to motorcycles.
But this
Wow.
isn't even just look the same. This is the same bike.
Same bike.
You know what I mean?
Well, I've said it a million times, and I've had people get mad at me. The pallet's so small. What more can you do? You know what I mean?
And then, like, here you go. The Motofino V Maxter.
V Maxter.
V-Maxter.
So anyway, it's just...
Can you say V Maxter 300? I mean, You're allowed to say that all in the same sentence?
Rob Nussbaum says conspiracy theory.
Yes.
Hey, listen.
I agree.
Just because I'm a conspiracy theorist does not mean that the whole world's not after me to give me a shot in the pants. Something going on here. The whole Harley Davidson, China, Italy thing. I don't know. Just saying. Something happening.
What can they do next?
All right, man. Well, listen.
Is that over? Are we over this yet?
I thought you guys were going to be much more animated and much more involved in this.
I could be rude and say they all look like crap. And let's go back to the old bikes. They all look the same to me. Again, the palette's so small. How many times can you spin the thing around?
Basically, it's not a chopper. Who cares?
Right.
There you go.
It's manufactured in a building, not in a garage like somebody has behind their house.
Oh,
Let's get to the cool
I mean,
stuff.
let's face it. Have you ever bought a brand new motorcycle?
Nearly new.
That's no then. That's
20 years ago.
Nearly new.
Yeah.
And I love it.
I bought a few new 1970s bikes.
And I'll tell you right now.
New to you.
Yeah, right. New to me.
I'll tell you right now, if I could give up my chopper habit, I wouldn't be opposed to having one of those brand new M8s.
Wait, did you actually just say if you gave up your chopper?
Yeah.
Well, and I
Slap yourself in the
shouldn't
mouth.
say that because so many of our people and so much of our demographic have brand new motorcycles and choppers and bobbers and everything. I mean, we have a touring bike. The only reason we don't not a chopper, she said.
You're making this look bad for yourself.
No.
The only
reason we don't have a brand new motorcycle is the price point. I mean, I'm not paying $40,000 for a motorcycle.
I thought you were going to say the only reason that you
Not
don't
when we
ride
can
your
have
bagger
four.
is when you have a chopper to ride.
No, I love our Ultra. Like when we take long trips, I love our
Well,
Ultra.
okay.
Absolutely. But
Shane Conrad,
40,000.
right on. Don't parts count as new. Yep.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
All right, so listen, we got a lot of stuff to get through, and our guest is waiting for us. You're watching Shop Talk through the courtesy of the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. We're going to take a quick break to look at, actually not an event. I was going to say an event report, but this is a report from the outcome of an event that
I'm
some
so
of us were
confused.
This is a really long.
Yeah.
Oh, the cruise that you and I
Yeah.
didn't get to go on, Mark.
Oh, here
I didn't
we
want
go.
but I didn't want to go.
Don't go anywhere.
Come
You're
on,
watching
help me
Shop
out
Talk.
here. Damn you.
Okay, so we're in Illinois today. High Seas Rally 22 plus 3 days out from the ship. And we're on our way to Mansfield, home of Jerry Lindsay, the winner of the giveaway bike. He told me he's going to take the day off and ride. Holy shit, they're here. Awesome. I thought I was dreaming. This is it, man. We're unloading it. It's going in your garage.
All right.
Once I pull away, this is your motorcycle.
Man, this freaking thing is awesome. Holy shit. My name's Jerry Lindsay. From Mansfield, Illinois. I'm the winner of the 2022 High Seas Rally, custom build by Xavier. Thank you very much. I love it.
We're the Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers. We understand the challenges riders face every day. As riders, we want to share the road and be seen by motorists. Remaining visible is critical to our safety and well-being. That's why we work tirelessly to promote motorcycle safety and awareness. We're proud to support our community that includes riders of all stripes. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com. The Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers.
Hey, this is Chris with Cycle Source Magazine, and today I want to talk to you guys about tires. So I'm in the Dennis Kirk warehouse where they pretty much have a tire for anything on two wheels. You know, that's one of the tricky things today in your local shop. Sometimes it's hard to get a tire. Well, they ship today from here. So pretty much any of these you can have tomorrow. Everything for your dirt bike, your ATV, your UTV, you can get these out today. And in addition to features like the tire finder on their website, if you buy the wheel at the same time you buy the tire, you get free mounting and balancing. Check them out today at denniskirk.com.
My name's Lyonel Gammon. I live in northern Utah, and I have a story to tell you. Not too long ago, I was cleaning out my grandfather's barn, and I found a vintage Harley-Davidson motorcycle.
Ah, there it is.
Welcome home, baby girl. My plan is to put this Harley-Davidson back on the road where it belongs, and I'm going to bring you along with me. So come along with me on this adventure as I learn to build and put a motorcycle back on the road. And I'm going to call it Barnyard Bike.
All right, welcome back to the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. Our guest tonight, we all know pretty well. You guys have seen him out at shows, I'm sure. Behind the scenes, we kind of call him Ari's Rainbow Chaser because he's the guy that's running around like crazy, making sure that the wind doesn't blow away the big tiger heads, purveying enthusiasm and passion for motorcycles.
So he's the guy on the street.
Yeah.
He's the guy on the street.
You know what? Listen, I can't take that away from Ari. He's on the street too. But,
No, I mean, but he's the guy
Lionel's
on the
out there
street.
getting it. But you know, like we talked about in the pre-show, those guys put a lot into this, a lot more than just an opportunity for advertising and stuff. And
Well, they live it too.
yeah, and to that end, Lionel has an opportunity to build a motorcycle. He's going around the country to other builders and doing parts here and there with different guys. You'll recognize their name, but we asked him to come on the show tonight so we can talk about how it's going. So let's go check out Lionel. Just Hanging Out in the Shop is brought to you by Spectro Oils. Made in the USA since 1966, the best oil on planet Earth. Lionel, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, how are you? Look, you're right. You're in the shop, ready to go.
Dude, you said I'm the first show of the year, and I'm still fighting to get the bike going, so every minute counts. The heater's going. I can see my breath. We're still working on it.
Listen, that's exactly what all the rest of us are doing. So you're in no better or worse place than all of us.
Well, it's funny you were talking about the new bikes, and I'm like you guys. Like, I've never bought a brand new bike. Got really close a couple of times, but at the end of the day, new to me is perfect.
Well, and you know what? Like, I hate to sound like a sour old bastard, but I know
Since when?
I don't really hate it. I'm from Pittsburgh. Let's face it; it's a pastime here. But seriously, like, I know the world has to move on. There has to be new stuff all the time. We're adapting to new technology and new style and all of that. And all of that aside, like, this is a company that was founded on, the idea of their American heritage and patriotism and like the old blue collar design quality, and like I see so much of that is leaving that anymore, and it makes me wonder, because a lot of people would argue that when Harley Davidson had the relationship with Benelli and they were doing all the different stuff that they were doing, and through the AMF years, they were kind of lost a little bit, It sort of makes you wonder where the company is today.
Yeah, and I love the technology. I think it's great, but at the end of the day, it's like, I want to know, how do I diagnose it? Like, if I have an issue, heaven forbid, hopefully it doesn't happen, but how do you fix it? And I've always been the guy like stay away from the technology because I'm not that smart. But a carburetor, guess what? I can work on that.
Yeah.
If I don't have spark, I can find where the spark's missing. Not a computer brain or whatever they call them now. So.
Oh, Rob Nussbaum corrected me. Not Benelli Aramacci.
I think you had Benelli on the brain from your news article. So
and the other one.
Oh, Rob's on the ball tonight.
Right.
It's that fresh flannel.
What are you starting with? Like, what's your platform that you have?
So it's crazy. I found, and I what I think is my grandfather's. It's an '88 Softail. Didn't know that my grandfather even had interest in riding. And when you see some of these pictures, what's interesting is it was buried and it was covered in like 5 of those big, huge burlap, like canvases. I mean, the thick stuff, like tents are made out of. And so it was super protected and guarded. So once I got cleaning it up, it really like shined. I was like, wow, this is a beaut, until I started finding out what I was getting into and found more problems. So originally the plan was just, let's put it back on the road. Let's figure out what it needs. And then I realized I want to know this bike. I really want to build it. I want to learn. And so it ended up getting to where it is right now, which is a bare frame sitting here on the rack and starting from scratch, taking it from where it was. And I got a pile of parts on the floor, pile of parts behind me, just trying to figure out and kind of letting it speak to me.
Well, and see, that's a thing a lot of us that harkens to a lot of us. And I actually, my editorial that's coming out in the next issue of the magazine, I wrote about this, that, you know, the biggest part of the fun of this and the, you know, what draws so much of us to it is the doing, you know. And I mean, what Harley Davidson always did best was build the ultimate platform for people who wanted to do things, who wanted to bring the motorcycle home. I mean, the bike that you're talking about that you started with right there, an Evo Softail, that was the bike that became the new, like, you know, 1340 Super Glide.
Yeah.
You could do anything with that bike. You could take it in 15 different directions.
Right.
You could make 15 different bikes out of it, and we did.
Ultimate bikes, yeah.
Right. You know, so those are the parts. Like, I appreciate Harley Davidson. Go do your electric motorcycles, do your little scooters for kids and all that stuff, and college kid runabouts, but continue to make that one motorcycle that feeds the ambition of the doers, and we're all going to be good.
Yeah.
So
they're going to force us all to take classes to learn how to do it, right?
Yeah, the question is, do we want to take those classes? Because I think, you know, I mean, me and Chris talk about it all the time. The time that we spent in the sheds with torches and bending stuff over a table, the time we spent in our garage, I mean, the time I spent at Lead Sled, you know, that you were able to, with these older bikes, create something, put something to it. Now the technology, you have to work so much around the technology, it almost takes the fun out of it. Thank God for people like, you know, Poppy and you know, some of those who else am I thinking of? Toast, you know, people like that grab these things and learn them inside and out and offer you things for them. But it's hard for the average guy in a shop to do that, you know?
Oh, my God. Rob Nussbaum right now has quote of the night.
Oh,
you guys got a high bar to beat. Woke motorcycles.
That's about it, too.
Oh. But, you know, man, let's talk about the fact that not only are you starting with a great platform with this, and it's a true and righteous purpose that you're on, but then you have the foresight to get with some of the best quality individuals, not try to do this yourself, but you're actually going to some of the top guys and some of the best to work with to actually learn this as you're doing it.
Well, you know what, and thank you for that. But what it was is I was scared to death, and I still am. Every single time I'm in the shop, in my barn, actually working on it, I'm scared to death on what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it wrong. So I keep dialing them up. I'm sending text messages. I'm calling. But you're right. So I reached out to some of these guys, and I hate to even name drop, but these are some players. I mean, Xavier, we saw him earlier that built the bike for High Seas Rally. He's lended his ear and his expertise to me time and time again. I was over at Pat's at RKB Customs in Fresno. Pat literally said, what do you want to build? And he turned me loose in the shop, coached and trained me the entire way. Pat over at Lead Sleds, we talked about him earlier, same situation. Pat, I don't know if you guys know this, but I didn't know this, but he's like one of the only guys in the country that still turns his fenders. So he threw me in the shop and literally turned me loose and let me turn some fenders. So
nice.
Guys like that are stepping up and giving me an opportunity. I've got an opportunity. I'm going to go work with Bert and actually spend some time with Bert, learn what the transmissions are all about. I told him with this, a goal I've got is a jockey shift with a foot clutch. And he goes, well, I've got the N1 drum. And I was like, what is that? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know the transmission.
The N1 drum was Bert's. That was Bert's greatest gift to Chopper guys. That was his greatest gift to Chopper guys.
Yeah.
So it's guys like that, honestly, I've got my motor. I'll check this out here. I've got my stand for my motor because I'm completely missing the motor right now because I'm in the process of working with Jason Mook on getting that 88 right. And so I've been honestly blessed. And for me, I knew that I didn't have the knowledge to do it myself. And I knew if I cracked at it by myself, I would run into problems and issues and I would just probably abandon the project. But these guys have such a knowledge, and I didn't realize this. I mean, been in the motorcycle industry for years, but I didn't realize how willing they all are to share. And not just like share their time, but share their knowledge. I mean, every single one of these guys and the others that I haven't even mentioned, Ryan Gore out in Colorado, Paper Street Customs. I have bugged him time and time again about different controls and how to do things. I've been calling Billy Lane up back. Now he's in Florida talking to Billy about different things. So all of these guys are willing to share, and I'm blown away that knowledge is king. And I love that we're talking about the new Harleys coming out, but then all of this knowledge, as long as we continue to share it, we're going to keep these old dogs on the road, and we're all getting such a passion behind it. I didn't have such a hard passion until I started cracking into this one, and I'm already in my head going, okay, I need a 70s model. Like, I need to go older because I don't want new stuff anymore. Like, nothing in the 2000s. Like, I'm not even going to crest over that. I don't even want to get in the 90s. I want to stay below all that, but I've got to get that knowledge. And like I said, it's really cool to see how strong the industry is of these builders coming together. And I'm just a schmuck in my barn trying to put a bike together, and they're willing to help me out.
Now, before this project, Lyonel, how far had you gone down the rabbit hole of custom motorcycles for yourself? Like, have you built a motorcycle for yourself before?
No, I've never built one. So I've done the typical maintenance, right? Like, we've all done oil changes, fix the belt, whatever it may be, the little stuff. Now, customizing it myself, no. Have I worked with other people? Yeah. Like,
wait a minute. Seriously?
No, that's awesome. He's gaining all this knowledge.
Are you telling me that this guy in this picture right here does not scream hard ass ground up custom motorcycle builder? Are you kidding me?
Hey, don't judge a book. Don't be judging. Come on now.
This is the first. This is popping the cherry, if you will. The virgin's breaking through.
That's awesome.
Bike. So, but I've done, like I said, other things. Like, I've had bikes painted, right? Most of us have done that before and kind of come up with an idea. And you feel like when you're on the bike, oh, I made a custom bike. And now I'm learning. It's like, no, you didn't. I bought the parts back in the college days when I had no money, and you bought the cheapest stuff you could buy that came from out of the country.
That's
and you
right.
put it on my motorcycle and thought it was great. But, now I've learned. But no, this is the first time I've ever really gone this far. I mean, like I said, small things, wheels, tires, paint, but not a full customization at all.
So not only are you going to come out of this with a whole new respect for custom motorcycles, but a whole new skill set too.
That's the hope. I mean, if it takes, it's not going to hit me all at once. I can't tell you how many scrap pieces of metal I've got laying around here because I've been trying to teach myself how to TIG weld because Rick Bray at RKB's like, dude, you can just do it. Just start welding. I'm like, no, that ain't working.
Hey, Chris has been building bikes
when it comes to a guy like that, okay, he's just being really nice right now.
No, man.
No,
Chris has been
not.
building bikes for a long, long time, and he's doing a project right now for Chopper Friends Throwdown, and he's building frames for the first time. And I can't tell full frames, like full. He's hardtailed, he's modified, and all of that stuff. But he's built the frame from bare 1-inch DOM tubing, and like there's a lot of scrap.
But
there is trial and error, but you learn.
The same thing. Rick Bray, I call Rick Bray up. I'm like, hey, how about this? How about that? And Rick tells me, dude, just do it. Yeah. Just do it. He said, you got this. Just do it. He said, look at it. If it looks straight, it's good. I'm like, no, man.
No.
But in all reality, he's right.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I went out to his shop and we made some custom wheels. And same situation. He's like, all right. He's like, go mill the hubs. And I'm like, what do you mean mill the hubs? And he's like, here's your specs. This is what you got to do. Go do it.
Yeah, I'm,
I'm like,
su-
dude,
I'm super
gonna
jealous
eat
of that.
Hub. Like I'm gonna shoot that hub out into my face here, and then it comes to welding the spokes on. And he's like, just tack them in and start going, man. Weld them. Now, of course, he went back and fixed it and cleaned it all up. You can see some of those pictures right there. But yeah, I mean, you talk about a good coach to have. There's one right there, and he just exemplifies all of these builders, everybody in the motorcycle industry willing to help and share. And heck, I'm just like that little kid, like we talked about Christmas, just eating it all up, getting all excited and go, oh, this is great. And then I come back here to my barn and I go, now what did he say to do? I throttle the pedal on the welder, or wait, what do I do here now?
Well, I guess the nice part about that is, I mean, we've said it 100 times in this show. You learn your greatest achievements from your biggest mistakes.
Absolutely.
And to have somebody like Rick or Pat or whomever is in that room with you, let you take the chance to screw it up, to be there to help you.
Because you have to fail.
Problem.
You have to fail.
Yep.
Right.
You have to fail doing
Yeah,
this.
if you think you're just going to jump in and build the coolest bike in the world, you're rudely mistaken. You ought to see the first freaking 4 or 5 bikes we built. But that's besides the point. Now, but in all reality, it's great that
Can you say sketchy?
little
sketch.
You said it before that I think a lot of people misconceive the bigger guys in the custom industry of being like hide private behind their closed doors. They're not, man. You can walk into half these people's shops, they'll welcome you in, and you'll have a great time. And they're just like the rest of everybody. They're trying to build something cool, trying to do something different. Obviously, what Harley's not doing right now.
I had a conversation with a builder friend of mine the other day, and we talked about this. And I bring this up for what we're talking about. And Radar just said there's a lot of guys who swap the fender seat and handlebars and called custom bike builders, shaking your head. I get what you're saying there, but I put forth the proposition that if you do anything to affect the stock, parts, and look of your motorcycle, you are on your way. It's up to you now if you're going to accept the responsibility and take the initiative to go after education, to learn processes, to learn parts, to identify, what you're doing. But back when me and Mark were kids and we started into this stuff, nobody in this whole area built a scratch built motorcycle.
No.
It was completely unheard of. It was almost a golden hen's tooth to see somebody do a complete restoration.
And pulling up somewhere with it was like pulling into a parking lot with a freaking spaceship.
Now, what people did once a year, whether you liked it or not, you went out to a place that was one of the only aftermarket shops around here, was called Cycle Recyclers.
Yeah.
And you would go out there every year. They had Dunlop tires on sale, so you'd get a set of Dunlop tires for $100. You got a set of tires. So that was absolute. And while you were there, probably every year I got a brand new fresh set of chrome /cut exhaust pipes, and then I would pick one thing. And back then, being blue collar and men of a certain means that we like where we come from, if you were going to change your regular lowrider fender to a bobtail fender, man, and you got the tail light and everything to go with it, that was a big deal, man.
Cutting the exhaust down, getting a balloon to cut exhaust and cutting it and angling it different.
Not because of like being able to pull into a bike night somewhere and say, see what I did? It was the fact that you were going to be in the garage doing stuff with your friends and, or by yourself, and you were doing it.
And I think, we said before that one of the most adrenaline pushes in your life adrenaline rushes in your life you can get is that shakedown run. Getting it all together, getting it all bolted up. And, you had mentioned lead sled. I can't tell you how many times that Upper Valley Road was one of the scariest roads ridden on the planet when we took cars and bikes on rides. I mean, I remember the day me and Pat brought that 59 Cadillac back to the shop. We had it running. The car had sat for years, probably 10 years. And within 45 minutes we were driving it. We got 4 flat tires in like 45 minutes. But we took that son of a bitch for a ride, I'll tell you.
So, hey, if you guys notice, real quick, I just want to bring this up. The comment box that's over here that keeps coming up, anywhere that you're watching this program from, whatever, Facebook or YouTube channel you're watching from, all you have to do is put your comments in where you're watching it. Those comments will come up in this box, and you can interact with us. We want to know what you think about this. We want to know what you think about where things are at, the things that we're talking about. So get involved in the show. But Lyonel, for you specifically, man, I want to talk a little bit about the fact that, you know, I'm obviously busting your balls when we're saying you're not the hardcore bike builder, but you are a multi-layered, interesting individual. Every time I get to talk to this cat, there's a little more that I learn about him. And, you know, I want you to talk a little bit, because everybody sees you out and you're doing all the media stuff with Law Tigers, but you come about that naturally. Like, tell everybody where you got started.
You know, it's funny. I got started as a kid. I wanted to be a TV newscaster. I wanted to be the guy at the 10 o'clock news telling you the top stories. Yeah. And I learned that I don't want to live that lifestyle. Like, you can't really do much when you're on TV. So, you know, life changed, did different things. I actually ended up landing in the radio world, and I was in the radio world for quite a long time. So I learned there's a certain way you can talk to people when you're in front of them. And then there's a certain way you can talk to people when you can't even see them. And you learn that really quick in the radio world when you stand in a box and there's like a wall 2 feet in front of you and there's thousands of people that can hear your voice. You learn really quick to think on your feet and move. And so that's kind of what helps me not be afraid of a camera and be able to present for, you know, fairly well. I try, but it's also interesting because I live a Western lifestyle. So not only do I ride a lot of motorcycles, but I'm a cowboy. I literally, you are in my barn right now. You can't tell, but in the far back, you can see there's a DeWalt box there over my shoulder. One of my other hobbies is actually woodworking. So when I found this bike, we pushed it all aside and said, hey, let's build a motorcycle in here. And yeah, you'll see right there, that's a great shot. That's that's my three boys. The closest there is Hayes, he's 10. And then you've got Holden in the plaid shirt. And little Hawkins, we call him Hawk, is in at number 36.
Holden's belt buckle is bigger than he is.
That's the thing. We are country people out here. All three of those boys, I'm super proud dad moment. We rodeo, and all
right on, dude.
That's awesome.
Heavy. You know, they've won some custom saddles, custom belt buckles. I think my oldest Hayes has more money in his bank account right now from rodeoing than I do.
That's awesome.
They get after it, and I've been blessed that's how we grew up. That's how we kind of were raised, and I get to pass that down with my boys, and they know that if you want to rodeo, you got to keep up. You got to practice your guitar. You got to play your drums, and then you've got to put some time on the dirt bikes, because they all have dirt bikes. You can see in one of the videos, we were all riding out in the field, and then the next shot, we were riding our horses out in the same field. So it's just kind of how I was brought up as a kid, and my father was a custom cowboy boot maker. And I learned at a young age that if you wanted something quality, you could do it yourself, and you just had to put your mind to it. Now, I'm trying to keep that same mentality as I'm tackling the bike, is I can do it. I'm not looking to be a show winner. I'm not even looking to put it in a show. I'm looking to put hard miles on it and enjoy the living crap off of these tires, and then put another set and just keep going and keep going and keep going. So it's just kind of a labor of love. And the goal right now is Sturgis. And if I don't get moving, I'm already going, crap, August is going to be here soon. It's already January.
Man, I can't wait to see you on this motorcycle. Like, seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know the process that you're going through. I've been through that process a number of times now with Chris. And there is nothing like that first ride. Yep. There's nothing like it. And especially when you get to roll it into a place where there's people that have watched you build it over the months, because you're doing it in a very public forum. It will be the coolest moment. Like,
well, that's what
it really will.
One thing I'm most scared about is, hey, I've invited people here to the shop, to my barn, and man, I can't screw up now.
Yes, you can. That's the greatest thing about this community.
On the bike for a minute. No, I got to keep working on the bike.
No, and see, that's, you go through all these comments here and everybody's egging you on. giving you the credit for, like, the one cat. I think Jeff McKinney said, if you tore that thing down to nothing, you are hardcore. And that's the truth, man. Like, that's where you really get into a respect for these things, and for you start getting the ideas of what you can do, and that's where that inspiration really starts to come in.
Or
for me, it's,
or like me, you get a headache whenever you look at it and notice that the bike's stripped on there, and now you have to put it back together. So
I did the same thing. I've got a box of bolts over here. As I was tearing it down, I was like, I tried to do it methodically. I tried to say, okay, I'm going to put that bolt back in the part so I know where it came from, or take a picture and document it. And then at the end of the teardown cycle, I literally had a bunch of bolts and nuts and more acorn nuts than I've ever seen in my life. And I just threw it all in one box and I went, crap, you know, I tried to do this the right way, but now I've got a box full of bolts.
We have boxes. Actually, we have totes full of random bolts, buckets, you name it. Every shape, size you could imagine. We have buckets full.
And couldn't count how many times those buckets saved our lives.
Oh, I can't tell you how many
right.
times I've dumped them out and looked for a specific like thread, and it's ridiculous.
Yep, I'll tell you
talked about.
Go ahead. I was just going to say the best one of those ever. Bill Dodge used to have in his shop in Daytona. He had a table, giant like butcher's table, stainless steel, and it was about 3 feet deep with hardware. Just like you could just sit there, and anytime you had something going on, you could walk over and just dig through all those nuts and bolts.
If you couldn't find it, it didn't exist. If you couldn't find it on that table.
Yep. And then after you've done a couple, you have the box.
Yep.
And it's all the chrome that you thought you were going to use and didn't use, and you guard it with your life. You find a chrome washer on the floor and you're like, who in
the hell is responsible for this?
Just wait, it will come. I'll be like, I found a chrome washer in the driveway. That's $3.50. What are you doing?
Oh, Jesus. Hey, listen, man, will you stick with us for just 1 minute? We're going to take a quick look at a tech tip, and I want to talk to you a little bit more before we let you go.
Yeah, for sure. I'm here.
All right, man. Hey, this is Chris with Cycle Source Magazine. You're watching Shop Talk. I appreciate you guys being here with us tonight. Don't go anywhere. We're going to check out this tech tip in the Grease and Gears Garage. We'll be right back with you. Hey, this is Chris with Cycle Source Magazine, Grease and Gears TV, and we're back in the shop today with our Chopper Friends Throwdown build. You can see we're starting to rough out some of the parts where everything's going to go, but today we're going to go all the way back to preparing some of the fixtures for our frame build, specifically the front motor mount, and we're going to show you guys plug and seam welding for where our frame halves are coming together. Lots of stuff happening here. Let's go check out the progress on the Chopper Friends Throwdown. Shop Talk Tech Tips are brought to you by S&S. Proven performance for the power sports industry. Okay, so now we're getting to the part of the frame build where we're going to do final fitments to get ready to weld the carriage, or at least spot weld or tack weld all the carriage pieces in. Front frame tubes are done and ready. The last step of that, if you see, I put some space over here still between the lower rails and the frame and the down tubes, so that I could allow for the down tubes to move back once I notch the front motor mount in. So with the motor mount stanchion in place, we're going to take this off now and take it over to the mill and machine that. You can see down here how I've indicated the 1 inch that transfers the material, so I know where I want to put my notch in. I'm going to take it to the mill, put the mill on the same angle as our frame rail here, and come in about a ½ inch to let that sit down in there real good, so when we weld it on, it's good strong material it's holding on to. We have our motor mount locked in our vise. Now, this is why I told you guys to make sure you mark left and right, top and which direction, because we need to notch it on this corner. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to rotate the milling machine. I know that the angle of the frame that I have at this point is about 35 degrees. So we're actually going to break loose the front 4 bolts of the milling machine. And then on the back side, you'll see the little drive nut where we can actually dial in 35 degrees and put the head of the milling machine on the proper angle that we need to make this cut. So now with our mill head in the same angle as the frame rails are going to approach us, I move up to the material, set my 0 on my digital readout, and I know that I want this to be, I'm pretty sure I want it to be about a ½ inch, so obviously 0.50, but I think I'm going to go to about 1/4 and check it just to be, you know, safer than sorry. Short of what I want, but like I said, what they say about measure twice, cut once. So there's my notch right now. I don't know, man, maybe 1/4 inch is enough. After taking it over to the bike and looking, we're actually happy with the 1/4 inch. So come back over here. Did I mention how cool it is to have a digital readout? Anybody that has one of these manual mills and doesn't have at least an X and a Y digital readout, get one, because you just don't have to sit there, pay, like for me anyway, I'm an art guy, so all of this math is a little bit heavy, and I'm ADD, so I sit there going 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, okay, next cut 30, 30, 30, 30, where I can just set presets or watch a digital value on the readout and know where I'm at. I know it's kind of like old machinists are going to be like, you're such a hack, you're so lazy. All right, so we're centered up on our next cut. Same direction. I have everything figured out. I'm in the right place. 1/4 inch, 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. And this can go on and stay on, which is a very big deal when you're doing this, because everything comes on and off 398 times. So that's it for this part. You can see down here I've already chamfered both of the ends of the tubing, giving myself a nice little valley to weld into. I'm also going to go on top here and side here and drill out the allowance for my plug weld. Okay, so we're getting ready to put our two frame halves together, the front and the back half of the frame, and the way that we do that is with 2 plug welds and a seam weld. You can see that I got my pilot hole drilled here, so what we'll do is make a proper hole for a plug weld there, and then come 45 degrees off on the front tube. And what we want to do is be able to get those slugs in, plug weld them to the slug, and then seam weld around. Contact there. 2 nice plug welds, nice seam weld, and good to go on that. Gonna fit this side, then clean up both of these, and we're gonna move on to notching at the neck, and we're pretty much ready to weld this whole carriage in. All right, so that's about gonna wrap it up for today for this episode of Grease and Gears TV. When we come back, we're finally gonna get to our rear frame rails. I'm gonna show you guys putting the slip fixtures together, and we're gonna start rock and rolling on this because we're only about 60 days out from Arizona, and this bike's gotta be done. Till next time, remember, if you dig this kind of content, go to our YouTube page. I'm Chris with Cycle Source Magazine, Grease and Gears TV. Okay, welcome back to the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. Lots of stuff going on in garages across the country. Our guest tonight, our host, I got to get it together. Big D in the house. Hey, our guest tonight is Lyonel from Law Tigers, and Lyonel has found a motorcycle in the barn, and he doesn't even realize, he has started down the road of an addiction that is going to torment him for the rest of his life now.
Hey, listen, if that's a true addiction, I'll take it. Here's my money. Let's go.
So I want to know how many times you do something new and you go to your wife and see, baby, look what I did.
Yeah. I stopped telling her. She doesn't even listen anymore. And I come out to the barn and I get like the text messages on the phone, like, are you ever coming to bed? And I'm like, oh, it's 2 a.m. Okay. I probably should be coming in the house.
See that? See that right there?
No, hey, no, I know that. Like, I'll be like, are you going to eat today or should I just bring it out here? Our only convenience is that his shop is attached to the house. So, and when you come in the door, my office is right there. So he'll be like, baby, you got to come see this. And he'll bring me out to the mill and he wants me to watch his mill running. And I'm like, or like he'll do the same bend 5 times. I'm like, look at you go, little buddy.
See, I'm blessed I'm in the barn. She can't hear the curse words and find out all the tools I broke because I'm throwing it across the barn.
Oh, I hear it all. I hear it all.
So Where can people watch this? Where are they most likely to catch? Are you doing this in episodic form? How are you doing this? Where can they watch this go down?
So yeah, I decided when we started the process, like, again, I'm gaining all this knowledge and I want to share it with everybody else. I want to take what I'm learning and what these wonderful builders that we've talked about are willing to share with me and share it with everybody else. So we're putting together videos. You can find them. We've got a Barnyard Bike YouTube channel. The easiest place to go in there, smash that subscribe button so you see when the videos are coming out. You know, it's not like it's a normal TV show. We're not just, you know, every single day you'll see an episode. It's just when I've got progress and when we're building on it and when it's informative. So we try to make it so it's fun, it's playful. You can see here on the screen, you know, some of the guys we've talked to, you know, Xavier, Bert, we were at Pat's, to Bert's here soon. We were in so just a way to show you exactly what we're doing. But if you go there, YouTube will be your best place. Hopefully you can learn something. If you've got advice for me, please, I'm learning. So comment it, you know, tell me, throw me a shout out there and let me know what I'm doing wrong, or if you've got an idea of something else I can do. I'm a blank canvas here just trying to learn, so share it with me what you know.
Right on. Well, listen, this is something I want to give to you right off of the bat. When you're done with this motorcycle, we want to get a photo shoot done of it, and we want to tell this story in print. We want to be the place that carries the first motorcycle that you finish on your own like this, because like I said, this is a lifetime endeavor you're getting ready to start here.
Wait, you mean I'll be like one of the cool guys that can have a plaque on my wall and a bike on what I did?
Yes.
That's right there.
I love that.
Check.
Oh, I get so excited when people are excited about their feature. Like, it's just such a cool feeling when I get to call somebody and be like, hey, we want to feature your motorcycle. And you can hear the excitement. And like, I've actually had one guy recently literally break down in tears. And there's nothing like seeing their face when they get that magazine in their hands, because I don't care how cool you are, to have something tangible that you can flip through and see your bike or your story on those pages. It's cool. I still get excited when I go to the store.
The sad thing is I can see that excitement, but now you've just given me more anxiety. Like, holy crap, it's going to be in the magazine. It's got to look good. Like, it can't just be a junker anymore. I got to make it right.
It's going to be awesome. You have all the right people backing you and giving you the right advice. There's no way it's not going to be a winner. So,
Heather, do you see that comment from James Patience?
Which one?
Where he says, I've been building for most of my life, and I still drag my wife out to the shop to see what I did. She's less interested, but now kind of my kids dig it.
Hey, I am still very interested. It's just watching the milling machine does not hold the same excitement for me as it does for you. Now, when you show me a part that's complete, I think it's really cool because you've learned something new, and now I at least know all the money we put towards the machine may pay off.
And now you know why I drag you up to see the milling machine run, because for 3 years you've been going, I don't even know why you bought that thing. I finally got enough tools to make it do something.
But wait a minute, not gonna lie, it's gonna take a lot more frames to pay off those machines. Just saying.
Son of a bitch.
That's it. Yeah, just keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy. So what's up for Law Tigers this year? What's the big thing going on with you guys?
You know what? We're going to get out there hard and heavy. We've got a couple. I don't want to let it out, but I think we're coming back with you guys here in a couple weeks with a big announcement going to happen in the Midwest. It's something I'm truly proud of and very excited to be a part of. So we're going to try to get out there. I mean, our number one goal truly is to take care of motorcycle riders. And you guys have probably heard me say it before, you know, if you've ever been involved in an accident, the first thing you should never do, and I know that's backwards, is don't ever call your insurance. They don't care for you, and we do. We want to make sure everyone's still out there riding with us again and taking good care of you. So we're going to be out and about. We've got some big events that we're going to get behind this year, a couple first-timers. We've got an announcement that's going to be released here in a couple of weeks that's centered around the Sons of Speed race that you talked about earlier in the show out there in New Smyrna. I'm probably not supposed to announce it, but we'll just say free, and you can kind of fill in the gaps from there. We're going to hook some people up to the nines out there that you got at the race and at the rally as well. So I probably shouldn't say that. I'll probably get a call from Billy later going,
what are you doing?
He's like, I hope you have your checkbook.
We're excited about that. We want to get behind and support everything they've got going on. So we're going to be out there and around.
Well, man, listen, whatever we can do, whatever announcement you guys want to come on here and do, you've been such great supporters for us. I'm super excited that you're going to be a dirty chopper jockey with the rest of us now, too, because now we can get so much shit on you just by trading parts. Like, you don't even realize. I'm running schemes in my head right now you can't even imagine.
Oh, good Lord.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So great. Real quick, Mark Hendricks, Tobacco Road Harley Davidson, throws a thank you for partnering with them on the hockey bike in North Carolina.
Oh yeah, so that's super cool. So we got with Mark there. He said, if you guys don't know, it's Tobacco Road Harley Davidson, and we're partnering with Tobacco Road Harley Davidson and the Carolina Hurricanes for the second year, giving away a custom motorcycle. And something that's really cool. We had such great success with that the word kind of spread through the NHL. I was just actually out in Minnesota, and we're doing a bike with the Minnesota Wild. So if you live in Minnesota, sorry if you don't, you've got a chance to win a custom bike, and I got to ride it first. Sorry, but we partnered with India, and they hooked us up with a 2022 Challenger. And sorry, I broke your bike in for the first 1,000 miles, and I actually got to ride that bike on the rink right there on the ice. So that was a trip.
I think this is from the last.
Yeah, so that was
right?
last year. Yeah, last year Mark hooked us up with an I think it was like an 09. Road King, actually, and we then stripped it all down, had it customized out there, and it was such an awesome giveaway, and things worked out that we decided to do it again. So this year Mark was gracious enough hooked us up with a brand new Pan America. So that bike's been fully customized out, so you can see that that contest will drop soon. If you're out there in North Carolina, don't quote me on it, but I think it's called the caniacbike.com is the website you want to hit for that, so you can enter to win that bike if you're local. If you don't live there, you live in Minnesota, check out the wildoneBike.com is where you'll win that Indian.
Right on, man. Well, listen, make sure you follow along with this. Barnyard Bike, both on YouTube and on Instagram. Law Tigers, great supporter of the show and of motorcycles in general. We can't thank them enough. And Lyonel, man, can't wait to see what you come up with here. We got pages waiting for you, son.
Well, I'll get after it now. Pressure's on.
I was just going to say, the pressure is on.
Yeah. But thank you.
All right, buddy. Thanks for being on with us. And where's the next place we're going to see you?
We're going to see him back here on, I think, the 29th with Donnie Smith.
Oh, okay. There you go.
That's it. Yeah, that's that next announcement we've got. So then, and then if not, of course, we'll be there. I'll be there at Arizona Bike Week. So.
Dig it.
Nice.
Very cool. All right, man. Well, listen, we'll catch up with you soon. Good luck with your build.
Thanks, guys. I'll get back to work.
See you, Lyonel.
Take care.
All right.
You're so right. Every time I talk to him, he's a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
Like ranching and rodeoing and like.
That's what I said when we were looking
Lionel's
through
the man.
We were looking through the pictures on the pre-show, getting ready for his interview, and I was like, oh, you don't just put on cowboy clothes and take a picture
No,
like that. There's nothing
he's like
pretend
the real
about that.
deal.
Yeah, that's
real deal. And his little boys, oh my God, so cute.
See, now for all you guys out there that as soon as Sons of Anarchy came on television, you were all bikers, and then they went to Yellowstone. Now you're all cowboys. Lionel's actually doing that shit backwards. He was already cowboy.
So great. Chris, did you see that Mark Hendricks wants to buy a frame to help pay for your milling machine?
Mark Hendricks, I will just build a frame for.
Yes.
So
yeah.
that's coming. One of these days, I'm just going to drop a motorcycle off with him.
I know he needs to ride one. He keeps saying, every time I offer, he's like, no.
So, hey, man, you're watching Shop Talk. First show of the year, but plenty coming up. We got some great shows coming up. Heather said we got
next week we have Nick Hunter. The week after that, we're going to do small shop owners. So,
is there Nick on here?
I'm going to be reaching out to a couple of you to come on. And then after that, we have Lyonel and Donnie Smith. And then after that, we have Leah Whaley from the Sturgis Motorcycle Museum and Hall of Fame going to be announcing their 2023 inductees.
Wow.
Yep. So we've got a couple, some great shows lined up. I'm super excited.
Right on.
And in between there, we're going to be going to cycle. Actually, no, after that. Whatever. I don't even know.
Thanks for coming tonight, Heather.
I was getting ahead of myself. I'm getting excited for like season to come.
Slow down. Slow down.
Can we please ride a motorcycle?
Yeah.
Hey, sit in the garage. Put a fan in your face.
Brum.
Like his commercial for
Cyber
Rally. You can't go now. Forget you.
Forget you. You ain't going.
Come to Vegas. When? Oh, wait a minute. What for? What Vegas? AIM Expo?
All right. Well, listen, for all the motorheads in the group, let's take a look at a new product from S&S. We're going to come back. Heather's going to go through the events real quick, and we're going to cut you guys loose. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Shop Talk in the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. The product spotlight is brought to you by Drag Specialties, the world's largest distributor of aftermarket accessories.
Hey, what's up guys? John from S&S Cycle here. Today we're going to be talking to you about our 129 and 132 big bore kit for your M8 application. Some key reasons why we really like these big bore kits. First off, it's a 432 bore, making a 129 or 132 displacement depending on your bike, your stock bike that is, either a 107 or 114. Now, secondly, it's 100% bolt-on. No machining of the stock case whatsoever. You bolt it on, tune it, and ride. Finally, the finish. The finish will match. It's a wrinkle black or a highlighted wrinkle black as shown here. For more information about this product, check out DennisKirk.com.
Bikers Info USA, the first bikers app by bikers, for bikers, and it's free. National and state events, Sturgis and Daytona, Bikers Info USA. Every motorcycle manufacturer dealer listed. Biker products for you and your bike. Bikers Info USA. Find the places to go, places to party, places to stay at every event. Bikers Info USA. Download it now. It's free. Bikers Info USA.
Everything we do at the track shapes what we build for the street and the dirt.
You can see how bad these guys want it. A race to the line.
For us, racing is not for the trophies or the glory. We compete because it makes everything we do faster, more durable, and tested to a higher standard. For S&S, racing is the ultimate in proven performance, and we've been proving it since 1958.
I bet them guys from S&S can't wait to get that new Harley 350 on the dyno and see what that thing does, huh? Just, wow.
Oh. You're something else.
I am.
You're something else, Christopher.
I'm a dirty old biker, and I won't apologize for it. Hey, what's going on with events, Blondie?
Bring them up.
All right. The Shop Talk events calendar is brought to you by the Bikers Info app, the Everything Bikers app. All in one place, everything you need, and it's free.
Stop shooting me, damn it! Next week on January 14th, 2023, the Carolinas Full Throttle Magazine Custom Motorcycle Show in Greensboro, North Carolina. You can get more information if you follow Carolinas Full Throttle Magazine. Go check them out. They are very good to us at the Smokeout, and we hope you are good to them. Are you butt welding?
Are you butt welding? Who's butt welding?
Oh, sorry.
You know, I don't know that I'm enough of a professional to answer that. So I'm putting chamfered edges on the tubing. I'm doing plug welds on both sides, and then I'm doing a seam weld in the middle.
So the answer to that question is no.
I don't think it's not butt welding
No.
because I'm not putting square tubing up
No,
against.
right.
I'm actually chamfering it.
Yes.
But I don't know what a scarf joint is.
Hell, well,
I would like to learn.
That's the joint you hide in your scarf when you go into the.
No, Mark.
Oh, sorry.
I have
No.
I have actually scarfed up a few joints.
No, Chris. Mm-mm.
Funny guy.
Come on, that was funny, Heather.
That was pretty
Can
good.
I rewind to the beginning of the show?
Again?
When you were talking about sharing is caring.
Yeah.
The way you said it, you said Sharon is Karen. We know twins named Sharon and Karen.
And Karen, oh my God.
How funny is that? Sorry, I just had to get that out. I had to. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Glad we went through that. Let's get back to the
butt weld.
Perpendicular.
You guys just like saying butt weld.
I don't know. I was going to the scarf joint thing.
I can scarf a joint.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You ready to go back to the events now?
Yes.
Normally I use
listen.
a bowl, but I'll scarf a joint.
Robin
Good
Higginbottom asked for something before she leaves here tonight, so here you go. This is for Robin.
Son of a biscuit eater.
If that's all it took.
That's it.
Okay. So,
Cycle Showcase STL 2023 at the City Foundry in downtown St. Louis. It's bound to be an amazing time. Chris and I will be there, and a whole bunch of
So
other
will
cool
Mark?
people.
yes, sir.
Oh, Mark, you're going too?
Yeah. Yep.
And that's Cycle Showcase STL as opposed to Cycle Showcase SOR. Why do you look confused?
Moving on. Chris, you're doing a scarf joint. Chopper Fest rescheduled to February 12th, 2023, Ventura County Fairgrounds. You can get more information at chopperfestival.com. Mama Tried February...
Oh, wait a minute. That was the wrong sound effect.
Mama Tried February 18th through 19th at the Eagles Ballroom in Milwaukee. Donnie Smith, 34th Annual Donnie Smith Motorcycle Midwest Extravaganza. The 25th through 26th of March in St. Paul. You're such a jerk. We'll be there. I'm very excited.
It's the side effects of the scarf joint.
Arizona Bike Week, 26th Annual, March 29th through April 2nd at Westworld of Scottsdale. We're going to be doing 2 bike shows, some Racing Gears Garage, and a whole bunch of cool stuff.
Stuff, Mark. Stuff.
Yeah, I have to be extra careful.
Here's some of that
Not
stuff.
only is my mother watching, but she's watching from our living room.
Yeah. So the actual critique is going to happen fast.
Right?
I think the next Sunday we ought to put her on the chair right behind you.
Yeah, there you go. So Mailman says that a butt joint a scarf joint is like a butt joint, but the material is 45 and laid on top of each other. So if you consider,
What's he doing? Running the internet?
we're actually taking a slug and putting it inside the tubing, and then we're 45 and chamfers. Technically, that would be a scarf. That would be a scarf weld or a scarf joint.
Let's stick with just keep sticking with the joint thing. I'm in on it.
Anyway, the
Scarf and
Cycle
a
Source
joint.
Custom Bike Show at Arizona Bike Week is going to take place on Saturday, April 1st.
You can't read it, can you?
No, I did. I just did. Saturday, April 1st, we have a ton of trophies and classes, and it's going to be a good time. We were super thrilled with the welcome we got last year with over 75 bikes at our first show in Arizona.
I wonder if there's going to be any gingerbread houses there.
Oh, maybe. That might be a prerequisite.
Booyah!
So, well, I don't know. Gingerbread took on a whole new meaning with my family Christmas party this year. Cycle Source Bike Games will be at Arizona Bike Week. On Friday, March 31st. I was just going to say, I don't know what day. That will be a first time for us at Arizona too. So I'm looking forward to that. There's going to be a performance show on Friday. I don't quite have the details on that yet, but we're working them out.
Is that a flip pitcher?
It is.
That is.
With a lead sled hat on.
Wow.
Getting her done.
And I got to call him tomorrow and tell him what a dick he is.
Texas Fandango, March 31st through April 2nd in beautiful Fredericksburg, Texas. It's an amazing event. If you love choppers and antique motorcycles, they found a great way to meld the two together.
They sure
And
do.
it's a killer swap meet. The Prowl Motorcycle Show. Son of a biscuity and monkey. I still have it in the wrong spot.
Out of order.
Mother humper.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury,
did you
please.
hear that? The language.
Man!
Bisbee, Arizona, March
Mother
18th.
is going to be so mad at you.
2023 in Bisbee, Arizona.
I can hear her stomping on the floor right now.
The
She's so mad at
One
you.
Motorcycle Show, April 28th through 30th. You can go to theonemoto.com
So
for information.
Is that the one or
the one?
The other
The
one?
one.
Is it the one?
No,
Is
that's
it the
the
other one?
one.
Sure, it's the one.
It's the
The
one.
one.
I
Well, Rob,
don't
send me
know.
a flyer for Oli and I'll put it up.
It may be wrong. I don't know if that's the one.
The one.
Speaking of that, if
Which
any
one?
of y'all have events that you want me to talk about, send it to me at cyclesourcemain@comcast.net. DM it to CycleSource Facebook or Instagram page. .com. And we will get it up there. Or you can go to cyclesource.com, submit an event button.
Or you can just
Son of a biscuit
You
eater.
can just do what Rob does, just toss it up in the...
Make them.
But
Yeah.
make
Just
'em-
just randomly.
Yeah.
Make them.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oli.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if he gave me details, help a sister out here. Oh, Back Road Barbecue Run, May 12th through 14th, 2023, Trenton, North Carolina, Trent River Campground in Maysville, North Carolina. Next, Smoke Out. Tickets are on sale for this, by the way. We're already sold out of full hookup RV spots. Don't even ask me.
Be nice.
And all three
Jesus.
T-shirts are
And all-
gone.
Yeah, all three T-shirts are
Two
gone
and a
already.
half. Oh, September 7th through
Hey,
10th.
the good news is, yeah, we're out of Power Man dolls, but we got plenty of his sidekick Booster.
Yeah, right.
So, T-shirts with Booster on all day long.
You're in,
the
yeah.
official rally shirt, forget it.
That's a thought they counted.
So good.
Jane, back to you.
Oh, September 7th to 10th through the 10th, Salisbury, North Carolina at the Rowan County Fairgrounds. Ton of cool stuff. Tankful, FXR show, performance show, chopper show, like you name it. We're gonna cram it into 2.5 days. Official event day is starting on a Thursday, so we added a day, which means much more goodness to
Great.
come.
More time to talk about 7.3s.
7-3 Powerhouse.
7.3.
Black Hills Motorcycle Show, the inaugural one, May 27th, 2023, in Deadwood, South Dakota, put on by Deadwood Custom Cycles. We'll have more information on that as it nears. I think we might be there, too.
So, yeah. So, 2023, off to a bang, right?
It's off to something.
It's off to a scarf joint.
We're scarfing joints and shooting off guns. That's good old Pittsburgh. You should have seen. So, Heather's from the Northeast, like way Northeast, New Hampshire. And the first time she was here for New Year's Eve, and I took her out in the back porch to bang pots and pans, she was beside herself. Then when we got out
The
there,
whole pots and pans, it was the shooting of the guns in the backyard.
when we got out there and the neighbors started letting off the shotguns and pistols, wow.
You ought
was
to be
like,
you ought to
dude.
be in town, like south side,
Oh.
up on the slopes when that goes off. It's like you shoot and then run and hide under something cement.
Right? Oh, Anthony Robinson in the house.
Coffee.
Gasoline and coffee.
So listen, man, like I said at the beginning of the show, if you guys are watching from any of
Rob's
the other,
giving away flannels. Rob, I want one.
Nice.
any of the other,
I like flannel giveaway.
if you're watching from any of the other channels that we broadcast on, we broadcast this show through 15 shows every Sunday at 9 p.m. But we're gonna start
Butt
doing
joint.
some specific stuff through the Cycle Source Magazine YouTube page, the place where this all starts and ends. We're gonna start doing shows maybe next week where you'll have an opportunity to call in as a listener through our Zoom call. You'll only be able to get that link through the Cycle Source YouTube page. We're going to do special shows and some after shows and everything through YouTube. So it's a good idea to head over there and get signed up through Cycle Source YouTube so you'll be the first to know. You'll be on the inside track. Want to thank all of our sponsors, especially Dennis Kirk for leaving the back door of the studio open. Law Tigers, everyone up in the top corner there that helps us bring this show to you every week. And you guys for letting us into your headspace, 90 to 120 minutes at the time. And I guess that's all I got this week.
Yeah, come back next week, same time for Nick Hunter and some Sons of Speed info.
Can't wait for Sons of Speed this year. Cannot wait.
I don't know, at the rate you're going, it's going to be Sons of Scooters.
Don't talk about my weight.
Hello.
So
No.
thanks for
It's going
coming.
to be like you're going to be racing a walker.
You're such an ass.
Loser.
Okay, so until next week when we come back, thanks for being here with us for the first show of the year. We'll see you next week, same chopper time.
Same Chopper channel.
Bye, Felicia.
She really thinks she's funny.
I know I'm funny.
We'd like to thank
You
our
shut
sponsors for their continued support, and we hope you pay them a visit when you're in the market for great motorcycle parts, products, and events. S&S Cycle, Makuni American, Baco Parts, The Broken Spoke Saloon, Twisted Tea, The Iron Horse Saloon, High Seas Rally, Twisted Choppers, Twin Power, Drag Specialties, Geico, Law Tigers, Tech Cycle, Fueling Parts, Lone Star Rally, Hijinks Apparel, Progressive Insurance, Spectra Oil, No School Choppers,